This is some payment. Yes, payment for non-resident. Interest payment for the non-resident. It's also final, right? So once the 10% WHT has been deducted against the interest payment to the non-resident, it will be final. That's another one. For an entity is not finalized the agreement with the landlord, but paying the rental bill. For an entity is not finalized the agreement with the landlord. Generally, so what can I say? So it's in case it's withholding agent's liability to deduct the WHT, right? If that payment is if that rent payment is more than 100,000 rupees per month, withholding agent is responsible to deduct WHT. But this access, in case WHT has not been deducted by the withholding agent, if it is not deducted by the withholding agent because of this reason, maybe because of the agreement has not been finalized yet, right? In such circumstances, say the withholding agent, that means the entity, didn't deduct the WHT. So in such case, the withholdee, that means the owner of the property, right, or the recipient of the rent income, that person is liable to pay the WHT amount. That person is liable to pay the WHT amount to the Inland Revenue. So I think it's better to share some details refers to this WHT. Let me share the act, right? Today we have to just cover this WHT part. Therefore, I think we do have some considerable amount of time, and we'll do this WHT return filing part, and then I have prepared the Word document, right, regarding refers to the schedules that you have to submit with the return for the various returns. I mean, what are the type of schedules that you need to upload with the income tax return? What are the type of schedules that you need to upload with the VAT return, and what are the type of schedules that you need to upload with the APID? I have to include the WHT as well, right? So we can discuss this schedule, and then we can go for the Q&A session and wind up. That is the plan for the day. So, but since we do have a little more time, let me open the act first. I think my share. So this is the consolidated Inland Revenue Act. We have to move to the section 80 withholding. So basically, this act has recognized the payee, earlier payee, also as a kind of withholding, but now it is known as the APIT, Advanced Personal Income Tax, rather the type of withholding, right? So, but there's no difference between the APIT and the withholding. almost similar, right? So withholding from investment return. So withholding from the investment return. So our company data withholding right now. We still have to file WTO. So you have that means first we have to check whether your company is registered for the WHT tax type. If your company is already registered for the WHT tax type as a withholding agent, until that tax type is inactive, you have to even submit the nil return. So you have to even at least you have to submit the nil. So section 84 refers to the withholding from investment. So subject to the subsection 3, a person shall paragraph 10 of the first schedule to this act where such person pay dividend, interest, discount charge, natural resource payment, rent. Okay, so I'm just referring this section 84, right? The holding on such income was cancelled during this period. Again, it was charged from 2024 onward, I think, to no, 2022 onward. So here, with effect from so this withholding tax was abolished for certain period from the 1st of January 2020, but again it has been charged by the amendment made to the Act on 2021. From the 2021, again it was imposed, right? So, but however, according to the subsection 3 of this section 84, it says the withholding tax will not apply to the payment subject to withholding tax under section 83. That means for the employment income, that means the remuneration payment, no WHT applicable, payment made by individual unless made in conducting a business. So if that payment is made by the individual who is not engaged with the business, no deduct WHT. But even the individual who is doing business, right? So that individual will withholding agent and he to deduct the interest paid to financial institution on the ordinary advance provided by it. That means when the in case of loan, right, when the issuer pay the interest to the bank against the loan by that fine, there's no WHT. So otherwise, WHT, institutions pay the interest to the account holders. They have to deduct the WHT. The entity or individual pay the interest to the financial institution on loan, no WHT. Interest paid, interest or discount paid by any person on security or treasury bond under the registered stock and security ordinance. There's no WHT on the treasury bonds and treasury bill income. This is what subject to Section 83 is the effect from but prior to the taxpayer who is resident in Sri Lanka may make the requesting agent to deduct advance income tax from the discount charges. Interest discount agent Commissioner General section to introduce. So now you know there are two concepts like WHT and AIT, advance income tax and the withholding. What is the difference this WHT and AIT? Once it is paid to once to the resident person, it is fine as the AIT. If payment goes to the non-resident person, it will be WHT. Right? That is the difference between AIT and WHT. Let me share our own slide. So, summary of WHT, right? So, 2022, prior to the dividend income, natural resource, royalty payment, premium, lottery winning, and reward. Those are the type of pay subject to WHT. The type of highlighted in red color are the final before 22 period of 22 31st December 2022. So lottery winning, it was the liable in others subject person who received the income. If there's no request from the taxpayer, W was on the income like dividend, interest, discount payment, royalty, premium, and kind of gain from the 1st of January 2022, dividend, interest, natural rent, premium, and lottery winning, again liable for the WHT. Out of those income of lottery winning and reward were finally withheld in taxable income. Okay, we'll check it, right? So, Now is it okay? Still breaking, or is it okay? Hello, hello. Thank you. This is the right. Now the dividend, interest, discount, natural resource payment, royalty, rent, and even the level for the WHT. Out of those income, dividend, premium, and lottery winning are the only liable for the final withholding tax. Others, interest, discount, natural resource payment, royalty, and rent, those are the income liable for, but that's WHT is not the final. That means even the WHT has been deducted, the income will be taxed at the higher tax rate, right? So this is only for the WHT on investment income. That is why the lecture fee and kind of things are not available here, right? This refers to the investment income. And so another slide. So advance income tax, AIT. So when the payment the non-resident person, right? The deduction will be known as the WHT. When once the payment made to the resident person, that deduction will be known AIT, advance income tax. Wordings, concept, and same scenario, right? Further, the right. The payment made by the individuals who engage with the business, or the payment made by the entities will subject to the AIT or the WHT, right? So this slide further elaborated individual but not doing business. Once they make the payment, right, to the resident or non-resident person, such payment is not subject to the AIT or the WHT. And the other instance is the persons, maybe entity or the individual. In case person pay the interest on institution, there's no WHT or the AIT deduction. In case person pay the interest on treasury bill and treasury bond to the resident or non-resident, there's no AIT or the WHT deduction. And the person make a payment to person income exempt from the tax, right? So say certain organizations and certain entities are exempted from the tax. Once the person may pay the payment to those entities, uh, that 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 payment and here are the rates on different income. I will share those right? I will four slides with you all, right? Through the Crown campus. So that's about the withholding tax. Right? So now let me introduce the WHT return. So this is the WHT. Actually, we identify this as a statement rather return, right? Because this is tax. This is part of income tax. Therefore, we do not refer this return. We call the document. We identify the returns. If it is a return, it should be a tax, right? So, since not the return, so separate tax, we call this as a statement, rather return. So, this is the announcement of withholding tax and advance income tax. So, who has to submit this return? Who has to submit statement? Withholding agent who register as a withholding agent, right? They need to submit this withholding tax statement. So, what are the things that they need to disclose with this return statement? Like the APIT return, here there are few parts, right? So, the most important thing is what you have to do during the process of filing this return. You have to maintain the certain amount of matching those parts with the APIT. Here also we need to maintain this. The first part is the summary of withholding tax deduction under the different categories. Withholding tax deduction on interest or the discount. Withholding tax so deduction on charges. Withholding tax deduction on natural resource payment. Withholding tax deduction on rent, royalty, service fee of insurance premium, photo telecommunications, any WHT on any other payment, reward to winning from lottery, betting or gambling, right? Sales of gems at an auction, right? So in case of WHT payment made against the particular types, we have to disclose here. So what are the details that we need to enter? The total payment value, right? Before that means gross payment value, right? And amount not liable for WHT, say maybe rent payment, but that rent payment, since the rent payment is something less than, is not liable. So in that case, we have to enter that amount under the column B, and the liable for the withholding tax, say now the interest or discount, interest payment, which is liable for the WHT. So, and amount of WHT deducted. So that detail we have to disclose through the column D, right? So the part 1 for the WHT and part 2 for the AIT, advance income tax. That means payment made to the resident. The part 1 we use for the payment made to the non-resident. Part 2 we use for the payment made to the residents. Here also same data: interest from discount, charges, natural resource payment, rent, royalty, dividend, right? Premium or similar periodic payment to the payment on services, right? So those are the things that we need to enter. Here also total payment value, that means gross amount, amount not considered for the AIT, and amount considered for the AIT, and the AIT deducted amount. So this is for the part 2. And part 3, the monthly payment summary, like this APIT statement. Here we need to details and on other clear. So it right. So give me a 1 second, right? Hello, hello. How is it now? Is there any improvement? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So, part three, to disclose the monthly wise WHT deduction. In that case, again, we have to separately disclose the withholding tax deduction and the advance income tax, that means AIT deduction, right? And so total to be matched with the part 1 and part 2. So the total of part 3 to be matched with the part 1 and part 2. That is the important thing. We need to maintain that matchings, right? And the balance part is the declaration. And the most important thing is, with this return you need to upload those schedules, right? Schedule 1, schedule 2A, and schedule 2B, right? So we'll see what is schedule 1 and what is schedule 2A and what is schedule 2B. You have to upload the necessary schedules with this annual statement, right? With the annual statement or part of annual statement prepared by the approved accountant, so the declaration part, right? So this is the format of the return, and let me open the schedules, withholding tax schedules. This is it. With effect from 25 1st of April. This is for the 25-26. For the 24-25, we have to open the schedules from here, right? So this is it, right? So schedule 1, withholding tax, so the advance income tax deduction from interest and discount. There's a separate schedule for the interest and discount, and schedule 2A, withholding tax, so the advance income tax on payment to resident under section 84 and section 85, right? And 2B, withholding tax, advance income tax on payment to non-resident under section 84 and section 85. So those are the schedules that you need to upload, right, with the statement of withholding tax, right? So further, if you need to upload the amended schedule, such amended schedules also available here, right? If it is amended schedule, you have to use the template for the amended schedule. So there's a separate template for the amended schedules. You have to use that template for the amended schedule. So the schedule uploading process, I think now you know. First thing what you have to do, you have to download the particular schedule from here. Then you have to enter the data, and then you have to convert this file into CSV with the name as specified in this template. And then what you have to do, you have to verify, you have to check this schedule with the relevant schedule. Once the schedule is verified by the tool, then you have to upload that schedule with the return, right? So that is the process. So from the 2025, further schedule has been introduced, right? So that is the schedule number 4, details of investment on which AIT was not deducted during the period. So another schedule has been introduced from the 2025, and schedule 84 and 85. Let me introduce schedule 84 and 85. Schedule 84, withholding tax on investment income. Schedule 85, withholding tax from service fee and the contract payment and payment to non-resident, right? And so those are the WHT, right? Those are the WHT liability from the 1st of January 2023, right? So under the section 85. So let me read that part, so then you will have some more understanding about the application of this WHT. Subject to the subsection 2 and 3, with effect from January 1st, 2023, a person shall withhold tax at the rate of 14% of the payment where such person pays service fee or an insurance premium with the source in Sri Lanka to non-resident person. Right. So once we pay the service PO and insurance premium with the source in Sri Lanka to non-resident person, the rate will be 14% from the 1st of January 2023. And subject to the subsection 3, with the effect from January 1st, 2023, a person shall withhold tax at the rate of 5% of the payment where such person pays a service fee with the source in Sri Lanka to resident individual who is not an employee of the payer for teaching, lecturing, examining, invigilating, or supervision and examination, be as a commission or brokerage to the resident insurance sales or canvassing agent, or for the service provided by such individual in the capacity of independent service provider, such as a doctor, lawyer, doctor, engineer, accountant, lawyer, software developer, researcher, academic, or any individual service provider, as may be prescribed by the regulation, provided, however, this subsection shall not apply to the service payment which does not exceed rupees 100,000 per month, and subject to the blah blah blah, the rest of the part. So you can see, so this area is highly there are little bit complex in this area, because the it has been amended several times, right? It has been amended several times. There are, you can see there are a lot of green color letters and red color letters. That is because of the amendment. There are a lot of amendment in this area for the section 84 and section 85, right? Okay, so this is the legal framework for the WHT return filing and the WHT liability, and this is the format of the return, right? So this is the format of return, and those are the type of schedules that withholding agent need to submit with the return, right? So now let's move to the return filing process. So here again, as we discussed in the earlier cases, corporate income tax, partnership income tax, and the APIT, here also you have to authorize particular SSID. You have to authorize actually two SSIDs as WHT preparer and the WHT approver. In order to enter the data for this return, what you have to do, you have to select, you have to use the SSID authorized as the WHT preparer, right? So we have to start the process with this SSID. We have to log into the system using this SSID, and then we can access to the return, right? So here I'm just using the 23-24 return. There's no much difference between the 23-24 statement and the 24-25 statement. Therefore, I just use this 23-24 one, right? So we have to select the withholding tax, and we have to select the year of assessment, and then we have to click the proceed button. So there are some already filled data, right? So the first part A, for the details of summary of withholding tax payment. Part B for the summary of advance income tax, that means AIT payment, and part 3 for the monthly summary, right? And here also we do have a lot of info buttons, right? You can have those, you can read those info informations as well. So the amount paid by you, so here what we have to do, we have to enter the data for these white color cages, right? So amount liable for withholding tax and amount of WHT deducted. Amount liable withholding tax means the gross interest paid amount, and amount of WHT deducted means the amount of WHT deducted against the interest payment, right? The row number 2 for the charges, WHT on charges, row number 3 for the WHT on natural resource payment, right? If those are not applicable, you can keep those cages as blank, right? So those are the type of payment subject to the WHT deduction, right? And then you have to move to the next part for the AIT, advanced personal income tax. So here also there are two parts: amount not considered for the AIT deduction and amount considered for the AIT deduction. So I have entered some details here, right? So interest and discount, it's a kind of payment subject to the AIT, right? Once the payment made to the resident individual or the resident, it is identified as the AIT. In case the payment made to the non-resident, right, that deducted amount will be in the deducted amount identified. We have to identify the deducted amount as the WHT. Is it clear the difference between the WHT and the AIT? Is it clear? So I can further elaborate it with the AIT or WHT guideline. This is the guideline published for the WHT and advanced income tax, right? So let me clear that doubt before we move to the further. Before we move to further with this written filing, right? So even you can download this guideline through the website, right? So this is guideline for completion of annual statement of withholding tax and advance income tax for the year of assessment 24-25, right? So mode of filing in accordance with the section 113(3) of the IR Act as amended effective from the 1st of April 2023, all tax return must be filed electronically using a computer system or mobile device. The Inland Revenue Department has facilitated this process through the e-filing system on the IRD web portal, right? And then it says the part A, summary of withholding tax. So provide details of WHT, withholding tax deducted on payment made to non-resident person. If include payment that have received clearance from the IRD for the remittance through the bank, as well as payment related to the reward winning from lottery, betting, gambling, and sales of gem at auction. So even this payment are made to the resident or non-resident, it will be identified as the withholding, right? I mean the payment related to the reward winning from lotteries, betting, gambling, and sales of gems, right? Even such payment made to the resident person, so non-resident person, it will be identified as the withholding, right? So the part 2 summary of advanced income tax, they provide details of withholding tax and advance income tax deduction on payment made to the resident. If it is a payment made to resident, it will be identified as the advance income tax payment. If there's a difficulty distinguish between the payment to resident and non-resident person concerning the interest or dividend, the withholding agent may report the total amount under the part 2 without separating the resident and non-resident payment, right? See, sometimes especially for the banks and financial institutions, at the time of payment of uh, interest to the deposit holders, they don't know whether the depositor is a resident or non-resident for that year of assessment. Therefore, the financial institution, what they can do, they can disclose all these WHT under the advanced personal income tax, right? So not as the withholding tax, right? Clear it? Is it clear? Any questions with the identification of AIT and the WHT? Hello. Seems to be you don't have that much of issue regarding that one. So again, I hope you have a clear idea. So we'll come to the video, right? Okay. So this is it, right? So now I'm just entering the data refers to the AIT deduction. That means payment made to the resident, right? So interest, discount, charges, natural resource payment, rent, royalty, premium or similar periodic payment, but there's no lottery winning, dividend, and gem sales, because once the payment made for that kind of things, right? It doesn't matter whether the payment goes to the resident or non-resident, it will be treated as the WHT. So the totals are here. System will calculate the totals, right? So total amount of payment, right? Uh, Total amount paid to withholdee or total amount not considered for the AIT and total amount considered for the AIT. The total will be the total payment value to the withholdee. Then you have to move to the part 3. What we have to do with the part 3, we have to enter the monthly wise WHT deduction or the AIT deduction details. And this is the part 3, monthly summary. So again here, what you need to do is you need to maintain the total matched with the part 1 and part 2. Otherwise, there will be a message like this, right? So there are basically two columns. One, not the two columns. There are several columns, but we can divide those columns into the two separate categories: AIT related information and the WHT related information. So make sure to match with the totals, right? Until you fill the part 3, according to the part A and part 2, you will not be allowed to move to the rest, right? So you have to carefully enter the data to the part 3, and you have to match the part 3 data with the part 1 and part 2. So what I'm doing here actually, as I did in the previous session, I'm just doing some reverse engineering kind of thing. But in a practical scenario, I think you cannot do this kind of thing. What you have to do is you have to enter the real data. Once you enter the real data, make sure to match with the relevant cages. Make sure to maintain such matching between the relevant cages. So you have to distribute the correct amount. So always what you have to do is you have to check with the monthly details with the schedule 1 and schedule 2, part 1 and part 2. Yeah, can you see? once you distribute it correctly, right? So you will allow to move to the next, right? So the next part here, you have to upload the schedule details, schedule 1, schedule 2A and schedule 2B, right? Those are the schedules applicable for the 23, 24 and 24, 23, right? So schedule 1, right? Here what you can do is you can upload the schedule, or even you can use the inbuilt template. But inbuilt template here, so only maximum 10 records can be entered here. But in practical scenario, financial institution do have huge number of withholding tax deducted related details. So definitely they use the CSV rather entering here, right? So here also again we have to maintain the matching between the schedule value and the part A value. The schedule total to be matched with the part A and part 2 totals. So we'll show you. So I just enter the one record using this inbuilt user interface, right? If not, what you can do is you can select the upload option and you can upload the pre-prepared schedule 1. Pre-prepared in the sense you have to download the schedules and then you have to enter the data for the schedules and you have to verify the schedules with the tools. You cannot enter the invalid PIN or invalid NIC. So you have to enter the proper PIN or proper NIC as well. Withholding certificate number or the account number, value of investment, and value of the interest paid amount. So generally, the bank and financial institution, they never use this inbuilt one. Instead of this one, they use the CSV template, right? So because they cannot enter the data, the transaction by transaction basis in this inbuilt form. So here you can see now that data has been added to the table. Likewise, you can enter up to maximum 10 records. But if you do have more than 10, what you have to do, you have to use uh, the CSV schedule for this purpose, right? So now I'm just showing that option, right? So I have to select the schedules. From the schedules, we have to select the WHT schedule 1 as the subdocument type. Then we have to browse, or we have to select and browse the relevant schedule, right? Let me show it here again. So here somewhere. Okay, so so here you can add the data to the table again. Then you have to enter the others details. Once the schedule one data, right, match with the total uh, interest payment and the WHT deduction against the interest payment, you can move to the next schedule, right? So the schedule 2A and the schedule 2B according to the your requirement and according to the data that you have to enter, right? So instead of using this, what the organizations do, they use the CSV here from here. Upload the schedule data file, right? So then they have to select the document type and the subdocument type, and then they have to browse the relevant file. So here, for this purpose, I have used the CSV file, which is prepared for the APIT, right? Once I try to proceed with this particular schedule, system says the file name is wrong format for the schedule one, right? So since this is the file format for the APIT, it will not be accepted by the WHT, right? So we need to maintain this we need to maintain, we have to use the particular uh, specification for the names, especially not only for this APIT schedule, in case of naming each and every schedule uh, for the tool verification, we have to use the specified format. So once we have complete the schedule one, then we can submit the schedule 2 and 3 as well, and in the person who enter the data for this particular statement can submit this return to the approver. So after the approver recheck the data that enter to this statement, if all this data in line with the details what that person can do, the person who's having the SSID as a WHT approver, what he can do, he can submit these returns to the IRB, right? So that is the process of WHT return filing, right? And so let me open some schedules. So this is the return. We have already discussed this return. And those are the schedules. This is schedule 2A and schedule 2A. Here, this is the format, right? So serial number, right? Type of payment, withholdee's name, withholdee's address, withholdee's TINO NIC, the relevant month, the gross payment, the applicable WHT rate, amount, WHT deducted amount, withholding certificate number. So those are the details that withholding agent need to submit with this schedule, right? So we'll open the other schedules as well. So this is the schedule 1, and schedule 2 we withholding tax or advance income tax on payment to resident under the 84 and 85, right? So this is the format for the 2A, right? So almost same as the previous one. Serial number, type of payment. The earlier one for the interest. This is for the any other investment, the WHT on any other investment, and the service fee. WHT on service fee. What else we are going to here? Serial number, type of payment, withhold is name, withhold is TIN, amount paid, rate of WHT, amount of WHT deducted, WHT certificate number, type of tax. You have to say whether it is AIT or WHT. And once you have completed this, what you can do is you have to export this particular document into the CSV, that means comma eliminated version. Then you have to verify that comma eliminated version with the tool, and once all the verifications are passed, right, then you can upload that schedule with the annual WHT statement. Anything you need to know refers to this WHT return filing and WHT schedule uploading. Any specific things do you need to know? No? Okay. So now we do have another almost half an hour time. We'll allocate that half an hour time specially for your questions. Not only for this WHT. So even you can raise your questions refers to the individual income tax return filing or the corporate return, income tax return filing area. Up to that level you can ask question, and meantime I will share that document I have prepared for the type of schedules that we need to attach with the each and every tax type, right? So let me open this, and before that I think it is time to have just 3 minutes break. Now it's 9:57. Just take 3 minutes break for the water, and we have to continue for another 30 minutes period. So let me have this 3 minutes break, right? So before moving to the rest. Okay, thank you for that break. So any questions? Is there anyone do have experience with this type of return filing? I mean, APIT return or the WHT return. What are the issues that you have come across with the preparation of? Yeah, again, last time also you asked these questions, no? Approved accountant. So let me open the act. So we'll try to find out. All right, so not here, here, not here. So there are 5 matches. The circumstances under which person engaged in business or investment activity shall the account prepared by an approved accountant and the form by which the accountant shall attest to the accuracy and the competence of the account prepared shall be prescribed by the regulation. Where a return or part of the return was prepared for the reward by some other person, including by an approved accountant other than full-time employee of the taxpayer shall be also sign the return. Okay. Where a return or part of the return was prepared for the payment by any other person, including an approved accountant, such person shall clarify separately specifying the extent to which he was involved in preparation of such return and specify the document examined by him and information relied upon by him. Such certificate shall be submitted along with the return, and said certification shall be deemed to be part and parcel of the said return. Approved accountant means, so this is comes under the interpretation. Approved accountant means an accountant who is a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. So CA Sri Lanka member can be act as an approved accountant, or an accountant who is fellow member of the Association of Accounting Technician of Sri Lanka, that means AAT, right? The fellow member of the AAT also can act as an approved accountant. That's it. Is it so? So approved accountant means only those 2 categories, no? The business of the person or partner who year does not exceed 100 million. So, okay. Business of persons or partnership for the year does not exceed 100 million rupees. So those are the people who can act as the approved accountant, right? Maybe a member of CA Sri Lanka or the fellow member of AAT. So these 2 categories can act as a approved accountant. Right. So the return, not only the approved accountant can sign. So let me open it again. Where by an approved account or other person. No need to file the return by the approved accountant. It can be approved accountant or any other person. Right? It can be approved accountant or any other person for the withholding tax type. We'll see the applicability of this approved accountant for the other tax types. That's a good question. So you have opened a path to check that with the other returns as well. So So let me open this corporate income tax return. This is the return of income for the corporate. So declaration, whether the return or part of the return prepared by approved account to any other person for a payment. Even for the corporate income tax returns, it says the details of approved accountant or any other person. Who prepared this return for the payment. Right? So that means not only the approved accountant, even the others can file the return on behalf of the corporates as well. Am I answered to your question? So there are a few more questions here. Who is approved accountant? Please explain. Government executive officer getting fuel allowance, driver and vehicle from the department according to the government circular as some vehicle. How calculate according to that circular? Last week, say class. The fuel allowance. Oh, okay. Right. See, say if it is a fuel allowance, you are referring to fuel allowance, no? Not the fuel. If it is fuel allowance, right? And if that person is government officer, out of the fuel allowance, only 25% will be liable to the tax, and the balance 75% will be exempted. So not only for the fuel allowance, even the vehicle allowance, right? In the hands of government officers, right? They are in the hands of government officers. The vehicle allowance, out of the vehicle allowance, 25% will be liable, and the balance 75% will be exempted. So if it is a vehicle, it will be treated as 20,000 non-cash benefit. If it is a fuel provided by the government, it will be treated as 10,000, another 20,000 as a non-cash value of this benefit. But if it is a fuel allowance, so the vehicle allowance, especially for the government officers, the out of the fuel allowance, so the out of the vehicle allowance, only 25% will be liable, and the balance 75% will be exempted. CIMA accountant seems to be, it has not been incorporated under the definition of approved accountant, right? But let me check again, right? So under the approved accountant, CIMA accountant has not been recognized, seems to be. We'll see. So approved accountant means an accountant who is a member of Institute of Chartered Accountant of Sri Lanka, or an accountant who is a fellow member of Association of Accountant Technician of Sri Lanka. So seems to be no CIMA accountant. So, but we'll see another section. Section 6 or somewhere there. seems to be not so, but we'll check this issue with the Secretariat Unit of IRB, and will share my contact details, and let me answer. Let me check this whether the CIMA accountant can act as an approved accountant or not. We'll check this, right? Who is tax agent for additional? So for additional for executive officers, what does it mean? So we'll check the tax agent. Tax agent, I think it has not been defined here. We'll check anyway. It seems to be there's nothing here about tax agent, tax consultant, or tax agent. The act does not refer something about the tax agent. Even for the tax consultant, there's nothing, right? So tax agent, let me check it, right? Who can act as a tax agent, whether there's any. So Shajit, so what is the second questions of you for additional for executive officers? So can you just elaborate it a little bit further? And you can ask questions through chat, right? So let me open this Word document which is prepared by me regarding this return filing and the schedules. So we'll share this one. So I have to do some modification here with the WHT. Soon after I have completed that, we'll share this document with the Crown campus, and I'll ask them to share this document with you all. And last week, I mean, after the last session, I have shared several materials with the Crown campus. I hope you already received those materials. So, and they have asked some details refers to the schedules, especially this VAT schedule. That is why I have prepared this, right? So this is about the schedule to be upload with the tax return according to the Inland Revenue Act. Income tax, when it comes to the income tax, there are three different type of income tax: individual income tax, partnership income tax, and corporate income tax, right? These returns require uploading of WHT deduction relevant schedules, right? Financial statement, T10 certificate, rent agreement, and other relevant details to the IRB e-filing system as per the entity type, right? So it's depend. Some details are not applicable for the individual. I mean, some schedules or some supporting documents are not applicable for the individuals, and some supporting documents are not applicable for the corporates. So depend on the entity type, right? Few supporting documents and schedules to be uploaded with the income tax return filing. Schedules, when it comes to the schedules, under the upload supporting document UI, you can upload two basic type of document. One is schedules. You can upload the schedules. If it is a schedule, it has to be in the CSV format, and it has to be verified through the tool before you upload it. and the other type is the supporting document. Under the supporting document, it may be T10 certificate, it may be financial accounts, it may be some agreement or kind of thing, or even it may be withholding tax certificate, but no need to upload the withholding tax certificate. But even so, those are the two categories. You have to upload schedules, and you can upload the supporting document. With the individual income tax return, it is not mandatory to submit, not even for the individual income tax return. The corporate income tax return, it is not mandatory to upload the schedules, right? If it is not applicable, what you can do is you can just submit the return and without any schedules or supporting document. When it comes to the VAT, APIT and WHT, with those return, you need to submit the schedules, right? So it's a must, right? So you have to decide whether you upload the system using this inbuilt user interface, or whether you upload the schedules using this CSV template. But again, there's a limit, right? So upload the inbuilt UI. You cannot use this option in case you do have more than 10 or 20 transactions. If you do have more than 10 or 20 transactions, what you have to do, you have to use the CSV, right? Rather entering the data for the inbuilt user interfaces. And when it comes to the payee or advanced personal income tax, employers are required to upload monthly employee schedule showing the individual employee's income, deduction, and tax withheld. The annual statement summarizing the total tax deducted for the year. So, with the annual statement, you have to submit those schedules. When it comes to the value-added tax, right, there are a lot more schedules. Schedule number 1, output schedule for the sales and taxable supplies. Schedule number 2, the input schedule for the local purchase. Schedule number 3, again input schedule for the import. Schedule number 4, credit and debit note schedule. Schedule number 5, deem input schedule for wholesale and retail traders. Schedule number 6, good export schedule. Schedule number 7, service export schedule. In addition to that, there are amendment to make a request for the amendment. You have to submit the same schedules using the amended template, right? Amendment version of the above schedule used to be correct prior to upload, right? Okay. And when it comes to the simplified VAT, that means SVAT, now already abolished, right? Even it is abolished. So those are the type of schedules you need to submit, you need to upload. Schedule 4, it's an inbuilt one. You cannot submit the Schedule 4 in the form of CSV or that kind of thing. You have to submit the Schedule 4 through this user interface, RMS interface, right? So even you are having RIS status or RIP status, right? You have to update the Schedule 4. In addition to Schedule 4, those are the other schedules that you need to submit with the simplified VAT scheme. Schedule 5, SWAT 5, monthly supplementary declaration form. SWAT 5A, suspended debit note declaration form. SWAT 5B, suspended credit note declaration form. SWAT 5, summary of the suspended purchases. SWAT 7, summary of the suspended supplies. And so if I summarize the table, right? Say if it is individual tax, income tax, you need to submit the income tax, income and deduction schedules. So not the income and deduction schedules, all these income and deduction schedules are inbuilt schedules, right? So no need to upload it separately, but with the income tax type, you need to upload the WHT deduction related schedules if necessary, right? So even with the partnership tax returns, what you have to do is basically the partners income and distribution schedules are already attached to the return. So no need to upload the separate partners income and distribution schedules. But in case you have to claim any withholding tax credit against for this partnership, you have to submit the withholding tax schedules. And corporate income tax, with the corporate income tax, you need to submit the financial reports and other relevant document as supporting document. In addition to that, you need to submit the schedules. That means withholding tax deduction related schedules you need to submit with the corporate income tax return. Once it comes to the APIT and payee, annual employee declaration schedules, Schedule A, Schedule 1, 2, and 3. There are 3 schedules for the APIT. For the VAT, there are 7 schedules. And for the SWAT, there are Schedule 5, 5A, 5B, 6, and 7. And in addition to that, there were Schedule 4 as well. But Schedule 4 is an inbuilt one, right? So those are the type of schedules that you need to upload with each of these tax returns and the statement. So I have to do further development to this particular document. We'll do the development and we'll share this document with you all before end of this week. I mean the coming week, right? So that's it. What else? So let me check this tax agent case, right? So I'm not very much sure whether it is specified or not. So anyway, let me check. Anything else? There are another 2 more messages. Samurdhi woman beneficiary received rupees 200,000 for start shop for selling. Is this real? So yes, it's real. The payer, right? So the person who donate that money can claim this amount as a qualifying payment. There's no limitation in case an individual has donated money to the Samurdhi beneficiary family, right? To the Samurdhi beneficiary family, the woman of the Samurdhi beneficiary family to start a shop. So that payment or that donation is identified as the qualifying payment. So it can be deducted against the assessable income when calculating the taxable income. So, but there's no really no limit, right? Anything else?
Excuse me. So මම last session එකේ අහුවා මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ.
Okay.
සර් අපේ ටියුෂන් සර් කෙනෙක්ගේ ෆයිල් එකක් කරනවා. ඒකේ මේ එයාට related expenses කියලා අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන් ටික ගැන මම ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහුවා සර් පොඩ්ඩක් අහලා check කරලා කියන්නම් කියලා කිව්වා expert කෙනෙක්ගෙන්.
මට මොනවද ඒ තියෙන expenses වර?
සර් එයාගේ මේ ටියුෂන් සර් use කරන වාහනේ ඉන්ට්‍රස්ට් එක කියන්නේ ලීසින් ඉන්ට්‍රස්ට් එක අපිට ඩිඩක්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක. ඒ කියන්නේ full time එයා use කරන්නේ ඒකට විතරයි purposely නේ.
Okay. Leasing interest.
ඒකයි ඒකේ capital expense එක ගන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එකයි සර් අර මේ දැන් vehicle related expenses travelling එක අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක සර් පොඩ්ඩක් check කරලා බලලා කියන්නම් කියලා
කිව්වා. ඒක ඇත්තටම පොඩ්ඩක් මෙහෙමයි දැන් ඕක ඉඩ දෙනවද නැත්ද කියන එක සමහර විට පුද්ගලයා මතත් පොඩ්ඩක් ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ජෙනරලි කියන්නේ vehicles වලට අදාළව capital allowance කියන්නේ මේ commercial vehicles වලට අදාළව විතරක් capital allowance දෙන්න කියලා. එතකොට leasing දැන් leasing කරපු වාහන වලටත් හම්බෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම capital allowance. ඉස්සරනේ leasing allowance එකක් තිබ්බේ. දැන් හම්බෙන්නේ capital allowance even for the leased whole vehicle. leased whole vehicle වලට capital allowance හම්බෙන්නේ. එතෙන්දී ඒකත් අර මේ commercial vehicles වලට තමයි දෙන්න කියන්නේ. එතකොට උතන ප්‍රශ්නයක් එනවා මේක commercial vehicle එකක් නම් නෙමෙයි. Anyhow this is not the commercial vehicle. So then the question is whether we can allow the capital allowance. So basically it doesn't matter whether it is leasehold asset or the purchased one, right? Freehold asset, we can allow the capital allowance, but here the case is whether this motor vehicle, whether it is treated as the commercial vehicle or not. Commercial vehicle එකක් වෙන්න නම් තියෙනවා අතන criteria එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ මම මෙතන එක්තරා ටොන් ගානක් ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ capacity එක passengers ලව ගෙනියන්න ඕනේ more than I think 30 or 12 passengers ලා ගෙනියනවා නම් ඒක commercial vehicle එකක් වෙනවා. හැබැයි දැන් මේක motor vehicle එකක් නම් කොහොමද commercial vehicle එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි ඉතින්දි බලන්න ඕනේ මම හිතන්නේ මේ the purpose that they use this vehicle. ඕක ඇවිල්ලා ඇත්තටම මේ මම දෙන උත්තරේම මම උත්තරය දුන්නොත් ඔබ දෙන්න පුළුවන් මේ purpose එක සලකලා කියලා. හැබැයි වෙන ඔෆිසර් කෙනෙක් ඒක accept නොකර ඉන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අර අපි literal rule එකේ ගිහිල්ලා interpret කළොත් ඇත්තටම ඔකට දෙන්න බෑ. literal rule එක කියලා කියොත් කියන්නේ මේ කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම මේක එතකොට commercial vehicle එකක් නෙමෙයි. commercial vehicle එකක් නෙමෙයි නිසා මේකට දෙන්න බෑ literal rule එකේ ගිහිල්ලා. හැබැයි අපි එතනින් අයින් වෙලා මේක contract versus conduct මේක conduct එකයි කියන එක බැලුවොත් සමහර විට මේක allow කරන්න පුළුවන්. But it depends, right? So I will check this further. Can you just make a WhatsApp message to me by mentioning this? Then I can answer to this. ඒකට හරිම අඩු ඉඩක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. මොකද මේ ඔෆිස් ගොඩක් වෙලාට ඔය කියන literal rule එකෙන් බැලුවොත් ඔක commercial vehicle එකක් නෙමෙයි කියලා capital allowance disregard කරන්න ගොඩක් ඉඩ තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මම
ඒතර අර leasing ඒතර ඒකට related මොනවත්ම අඩු කරන්න බෑ කියන්නේ නේද?
leasing interest එක ගැන අහන්නේ capital allowance නේ leasing interest එකනේ. ඒක
leasing interest එතකොට fuel එකට related expenses fuel ඒ වගේ දේවල්
fuel යටතේනේ අහන්නේ. එතනදි interest එකට නම් ඇත්තටම එහෙම limitation එකක් නැහැ. interest එකට limitation එකක් නැහැනේ මේ motor vehicles වල interest එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. Anyway, let me check it again. So I just I forgot about this matter. So can you just send me a WhatsApp message just referring some details regarding to this matter?
Okay, sir. Okay.
So
questions on this.
Okay, we'll share my details here.
Okay, sir. ඒ වගේ ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් ප්‍රශ්නයක් આવුත් අපිට IRD එක පැත්තෙන් අහන්න මොකක් හරි සොලියුෂන් එකක් තියෙනවද?
එහෙම හොඳම තැන එහෙම අහන්න අපේ secretariat unit එක. මොකද secretariat unit එක they will provide the clarifications. So you can make a request for the clarification and their answer will be highly valid.
Okay, sir.
But you have to ask that questions through the written format, right? නිකන් අහුවට බෑ මේක in writing අහන්න වෙනවා.
Okay, sir. Through the mail, no?
සර් එක්සිකියුටිව් ඔෆිසර්ගේ fuel expenses වැඩි වුණොත් සර්කියුලර් එකට වඩා එතකොට charge කරන්නේ කොහොමද driver vehicle එකයි දුන්නාම
allowance එක ගැනද අහන්නේ නැත්නම් මේ fuel දෙන එක ගැනද?
fuel උත් දෙනවා allowance එකක් විදියට fuel එකයි
ඔය සර්කියුලර් එක දැන් ඉන්ලන්ඩ් රෙවිනියු එක පැත්තෙන් ඉෂුරු මේ සර්කියුලර් එකේ තියෙන එතන limit එතන රිෆර් කරනවානේ මොකක් හරි මේ government procedures හරහා දෙන amount එකක් ගැන එතන දැන් අපි හිතමුකෝ මම දන්නේ ඇත්තටම ඊට අමතරව වෙන ගවර්න්මන්ට් මොකක් හරි ඉෂු කරපු රෙගියුලේෂන් එකක් කරහා ඒකට ලිමිට් එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. අපි හිතමුකෝ වෙහිකල් එකක් වෙනුවෙන් 50000ක් දෙනවා කියලා.
ඔව්.
රෙන්ට් කරන්න per month. එතකොට ඒ වෙහිකල් allowance එකෙන් 125ක් විතරයි tax එකට liable වෙන්නේ. ඉතුරු 75 exempted employment income එකක් විදිහට තමයි treat කරන්නේ.
ඔව් සර්. ඒක මම අහන්නේ අනිත් පැත්තෙන්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඩ්‍රයිවරුයි වෙහිකල් එකයි ෆියුලුත් දෙනවා යම්
හරි.
ප්‍රමාණයක්. අන්න
හරි.
එතකොට ඒ ෆියුල් ප්‍රමාණය වැටෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා.
එතකොට 50000යි. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක allowance එකක් නෙමෙයිනේ දෙන්නේ නේ. vehicle එකක් දෙනවා, driver දෙනවා, fuel දෙනවා.
ඔව්.
එතකොට total benefit එක 50000යි.
50,000.
50000 non cash benefit එක 50000යි per month.
එතන ෆියුල් කියලා එතකොට ෆියුල් වලට අපි කියමු ලක්ෂයක් ගියත් ඒක ගන්නෙ නෑ ඒකට නේ.
නෑ ගන්නෑ. ඔව් fuel දෙනවා නම් fuel වලට ලක්ෂයක් ගියත් ඒක ගන්නෙ නෑ. ඒක ඇවිල්ලා private sector එකේ employeesටත් ඒක අදාළයි government employeesටත් ඒක අදාළයි. හැබැයි අර government employeesට cash දෙනකොට තමයි අර 25% liable වෙලා 75% මේ disallow වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් disallow වෙනවා කියන්නේ exempt වෙන්නේ. ඒකේ rationale එක ඇත්තටම ඒ government officer ඒ vehicle එක use කරනවා යාගේ official purpose එකට. මොකද ඇත්තම සිටුේෂන් එක තියෙන්නේ මම දන්න තරමට දැන් එක්සිකියුටිව් ඔෆිසර් කෙනෙකුට vehicle allowance එකක් දුන්නු කෙනෙකුට ඒ ඔෆිස් එකේ තියෙන pool එකෙන් vehicle එකක් අරගෙන යන්න බෑනේ.
ඔව්. ඔව් ඔව්. ඔව්.
Okay. There's another question. Explain point 5. What does it mean by the point 5? ෆ්‍රීලාන්සර් කෙනෙක් ෆොරින් කම්පැනි එකකට සර්විස් ප්‍රොවයිඩ් කරලා සැලරි එක බැංක් එකට එද්දි බැංක් එක අඩු කරන ටැක්ස් එක ෆයිනල් විත්ඩ්‍රෝලින් එකේ මේ ෆ්‍රීලාන්සර් ශ්‍රී ලංකන් රෙසිඩන්ට් නම් රයිට් ශ්‍රී ලංකන් රෙසිඩන්ට් කෙනෙක් මේ ඊළඟට මේක බලන්න ඕනේ මේක මෙයාට තියෙන්නේ මොකක්ද account එක RFC ද NRFC ද නැත්නම් normal account එකක්ද RFC NRFC හරි normal account එකකට හරි එනවා නම් ඒ RFC account NRFC account වල හම්බෙන interest එක tax වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඊළඟට මෙයා ශ්‍රී ලංකන් resident non resident කියන එක බලන්න ඕනේ. මෙයා non resident නම් මේ interest income එක final. හැබැයි මෙයා resident නම් සහ මේ සල්ලි deposit කරන්නේ RFC NRFC account එක non account එක නම් බැංක් එක මේකට අර දැන් විදියට 10% WHT deduct කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් බැංකුවේ තියෙන සල්ලි වලට 10% WHT deduct කරද්දී ඒක ෆොරින් කම්පැනි එකකට සර්විස් එක දීලා ගත්ත එකක්ද නැද්ද කියන එක අදාළ නැහැ. ඒක අදාළ වෙන්නේ එකම දේ මේක RFC account එකක් හරි NRFC account එකක් හරි නේද. එහෙම නැත්තම් RFC NRFC නවන නිකන් සාමාන්‍ය account එකක් නම් එතෙන්දී අදාළ නැහැ මේ සල්ලි හම්බුනේ මේ ෆොරින් කන්සල්ටන්සි එකකින්ද නැත්තම් වෙන ලෝකල් බිස්නස් එකකින්ද කියන එක අදාළ නැහැ. ඒක WHT වලට liable වෙනවා. හැබැයි ෆොරින් කන්සල්ටන්සි වලින් හම්බෙන ඉන්කම් එක වෙනම ඉෂුව එකක්. ඒක දැන් 25 26 පටන් ගන්නකම් ඇත්තටම මේ ෆොරින් කන්සල්ටන්සි සර්විස් දීලා ඒ හම්බෙන amount එක බැංක් through ලංකාවට remit කරලා තිබ්බනම් ඒක tax exempt කරලා තිබ්බේ. But from the 25-26 onward it's a liable income. මේක liable income එකක්. The foreign consultancy service income will be liable for the income tax at the maximum rate of 15%. The maximum slab එක යන්නේ 15 දැන් තියෙන slabs 6යි 12 නැහැ ඊළඟට 18යිනේ. ඒ වෙනුවට මේ foreign service දෙන කෙනෙකුට 6යි ඊට පස්සේ whatever the balance from this foreign consultancy service will be taxed at 15%. ඊට පස්සේ තියෙන එක නම් මට පැහැදිලි නෑ. ඒක ඇවිල්ලා මොකරි අපේ ડોකියුමන්ට් එක right, so that's good. So somebody has asked this, no? Okay, so now this Mr. Sajid, I think he has shared this document, the notice issued by the Inland Revenue, notice to the person who are willing to be obtained the registration as the tax agent. All right, that's good. So even for me, this is very important. Thank you for sharing this. So others can use this, right? So someone asked the question, who can register, who can recognize as the tax agent? This is the answer. It is given by, I think, Mr. Sajid. Sajid, no? Okay. So the resident. Working in Port City IT person, government role. So I'm not very much aware about this Port City Act and the tax concessions for the Port City businesses. So if you can just specify this question, what I can do is I can answer. Please specify this question and WhatsApp me. So then I can check and then I can check it and answer. Anything else? So I will share the document, right? So I have to share a few more documents with you all, and we'll share those documents. And if you do not have further questions right now, what we can do is we can wind up the session. So since this is the last session, right? After this session, you can contact me via this number, especially through the WhatsApp, right? And I would like to wish all the success for all of you, right? So now there's a very good potential, right, to you all to develop your career in this taxation field, because there's a lot of opportunities now for the tax consultant and the tax agent. There are a lot of opportunities. So it's very good decision you have taken by doing this course, right? So through this course, I hope you was able to develop yourself and your capabilities at least up to certain extent. So I think it's a very good initiative, right, to develop your career. And I wish all the best for your career development and your future. So thank you very much for being a part of this course and participate for this session. And always throughout the sessions, you participate actively. You have asked the questions and you have response to the questions. That's very good. So please continue this for the future works as well. And again, I wish all the best for all of you. Thank you very much. and good night.